my wife has become barren, I'm a really, really old man. I don't think this doesn't seem like it's going to happen, but yeah, Allah give me from you an heir, somebody that can inherit me. So detailing your situation in your dua, you're doing it for yourself. But this is something that is a sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, as Zakaria ﷺ did. He detailed this. He didn't just say, Ya Allah, he prays you whatever in this ask, but he detailed the need. What is the need? What is the problem? What is happening? And again, this helps you to focus again, right? And it does a lot for the person making the dua to understand exactly what it is that they're asking for. Right? Why are you asking for a son? What is the reason? Right? It is because he's worried about the line, the lineage of Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam. Right? So he wants something better for all of mankind. It's not even a selfish dua. He wants something that's better for all of mankind. So again, using a soft voice, repeating what you're asking for over and over again, and humbling yourself before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a very vague piece of advice, but again, we all know what it means to humble ourselves, right? We may do it in different ways, right? Just putting ourselves in an environment where we feel calm and at ease and at peace with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these are just some of the things, some practical things I wanted to share in the end. And inshallah we'll end with this. If there are any questions or points of discussion, inshallah, you want to bring up, we'll accommodate them, inshallah. Yes, the dua of the kids, inshallah, it's true. Because they're sinless, inshallah. You guys know my rule from last time. There have to be at least three comments or 3 questions or something. We're not going to pray Isha until... Yes, this is one of the things that the Prophet mentioned, that what happens in the response of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you don't get what you asked for, then Allah Azza wa Jalla may remove some hardships that come your way, or He may save your dua as a good deed for you in the day of resurrection.
You mentioned one of your you get tons and tons of salat.
Yeah.
Where it's coming from.
Yeah, exactly. So all the du'as you make that you may not, you don't see an answer to, again, on the day of resurrection, they will be there for you as good deeds. That counts as one question. So. Yeah, brother.
I heard somewhere that if you don't pray for your parents, your children are not going to pray for you. What is, is it true?
That might be more of just an observation that we've seen, because again, children pick up from their parents. They learn from their parents the actions of their parents. So that might just be more of a wise saying. Allah Alam, I don't know if it's a hadith, but it definitely is true in other areas of life. So the kids pick up the habits of the parents. And so if they see the way their grandparents are treated, they're more likely to treat their own parents the same way. And we actually know this now scientifically, that children that are abused growing up are more likely to be abusers to their children when they have them as well. So these are learned behaviors. So we have this beautiful saying about character, that people always, you have this thing called character education in schools, and then people try to bring it into the school. They try to teach kids character. But what we've learned is that this is a little saying that character is caught, it's not taught. You can't teach character, right? It just rubs off based on the people that people respect in their lives. They're with them. It rubs off on them. So however you treat your parents and however your kids see you treating your parents, may be the way they're going to end up treating you, right? What goes around comes around. All of these are all wise sayings that we have, because these are observations that people make.
Question on just the method of making dua within salah.
Yes.
Is there, so for example in sujood, or you mentioned the different locations where you can make dua within salah. Is it only in the Arabic language, or is it also in your own language, or is it just in your own head? What is the exact method?
So the pretty much agreed upon opinion is that the salah is in Arabic.
Right.
The prayer is in Arabic. And there are plenty of du'as that the Prophet ﷺ taught us himself that are in Arabic, that we know, that we can make, right? So it's not that we have to really go outside of Arabic, but even some of the scholars, actually in the Hanbali school, I think the du'as you make in salah have to be specific to, if I remember correctly, spiritual du'as to your hereafter. So some of the scholars of the Hanbali school said, don't ask for things of dunya in your salah. Ask for things of your hereafter. So there are plenty of du'as that the Prophet taught us for the hereafter, that we can make in our salah. There are plenty of sunnah du'as that are included in the prayer. Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik. right? Some of these du'as, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min adhab al-qabr wa adhab jahannam wa min fitnat al-mahya wal mamat wa min sharri fitnat al-masih ad-dajjal. These are things that Prophet taught us himself to say. These are all du'as. So you don't have to break the rule that the salat must be in Arabic. You can learn these du'as that exist, and there are plenty of them. Plenty of them, mashallah, from the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the best du'a to make are the ones that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam taught us. We have to understand those are the absolute best du'as that we can make, are the ones the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself taught us. So those should be the priority. And then inshallah, maybe if your salah is that great, you've exhausted all of them, then inshallah make your own and you can learn Arabic too and do that inshallah. Now, brother Sam.
Brother Arshad, Jazakallah khair.
Oh, yeah.
I think you touched on a very sensitive point when you said dua is more of a worship in its own shape, I guess. There's always a rules for ibadah, one of which is the timing and also probably the number of people involved in that form of ibadah.
Yeah.
And there's always a debatable issue, I guess, between the when it comes to coming up with your own dua, which is okay in itself. However, when it comes to sort of be associated with a specific time that repeats routinely, along with the fact that whether you're beyond yourself involved in that, that's where things probably become hazy and maybe a form of innovation, I guess, for certain scholars. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, so there is a difference of opinion between scholars based on whether or not making a specific dua at a specific time and making that a habit or something. Is it considered a bid'ah or is it not considered a bid'ah? But the reality is that the definition of bid'ah itself, you have to be aware of what it is. So the definition of bid'ah is طريقة مخترعة في الدين يتعبد الله به ويتعبد به الله. So that it's something that you come up with within the religion through which you worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And some of them also said basically that لا أصل له. There's no basis for it whatsoever. So the difference of opinion between the scholars, it really is a valid difference of opinion, because there is a basis for making dua, and dua can be made at any time. It can be made in groups, right? So Prophet mentioned that if you're sitting and making dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal, this is a good thing and the angels come and so on and so forth. So the scholars that say this is fine, they have evidence for it. And they say there is a basis for this. And that is that, we have all these ahadith that are general, that you can make dua at any time, you can make dua with each other, and so on and so forth. So based on this, they have, established certain practices. And it is a valid opinion within a difference of opinion within the schools of Islamic law.
There's a hadith also, right, about the shahud that you say tahiyyat and then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I don't remember the exact word, but you say the shahud and then salutation upon Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and after the fas'al ma shi'ta.
Fas'al ma shi'ta. Yeah, so make dua as much as you want. Ask whatever you want. So the thing is that there is a difference. So some scholars have said, well, we consider this kind of a bid'ah because it's not something that was maybe specifically practiced by the companions or the Prophet ﷺ, but that doesn't mean that they didn't leave us with enough evidence for at least doing it or encouraging people to do it or whatever. And a lot of times scholars, they have reasons for why they do these things, right? If they see people becoming lax and not making dua, then in order to teach them, and we do this with kids, right? We make dua with them to teach them, right? So and they might have different purposes and so on and so forth, but it is a valid difference of opinion, because there is enough evidence to show that dua can be made at any time, dua can be made in groups. It's good to make dua, when we're in a gathering at the end, we ask somebody to make dua, to finish it off. Yeah.
I'm just thinking of an example that magnifies the problem of anybody coming up with a certain dua and inviting a certain people to do it on Christmas night.
Yeah. No, so obviously we have to be careful.
This is where, if you say, you know what,
yeah,
everybody's committed to say, let's get together on Christmas night and let's have dua together.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where it becomes really magnified.
Yeah, and I think that becomes obvious that that's a problem.
And,
Yeah.
and I think this is where we become diving into the hazy area of whether it's halal or haram. When
Yeah.
we know the Prophet ﷺ has specific time that he recommended for us to perform dua.
Yeah.
And also the Sahaba has shown us when there's dua in groups.
Yeah.
The sun eclipse and the moon eclipse and,
Yes.
and on the day of Arafah, on the after Salat al-Jumu'ah. I mean, these are times that we can pick and be in groups or individually, when we see it nowadays where anybody can come up with a specific time, specific format for a group of people, and before you know
Yes,
it,
now, I mean,
it's
so
a
if we're
routine
talking
thing.
about making dua after salah, for example, so after salah is a type of dua is accepted. So there's a
I'm
valid
not
difference of
questioning
opinion.
that.
Yeah.
No, absolutely
So
not.
just to make the difference between Christmas and
Well,
So
the reason why I mention Christmas
Yeah.
it just becomes like it
Yeah, so
magnifies
yeah,
the problem
yeah.
because anybody can come up with things that are not
yeah,
even
it's true.
legacy of the madahib, the
Yes.
hadith radiallahu anhu, or Shafi'i or Hanbali. So
Yeah,
all of these
definitely.
things become, okay, are we at least sticking to the four madahib and sticking to the norms of those madahib, and now we're even
Yeah, and I
walking
think
away from
that's a great principle to generally have. Is and a lot of times when scholars they say something, they always try to make sure somebody before me has said this. It's been discussed before. It's not something that I'm just bringing up that's never been talked about. So these are important things to keep in mind, definitely. So barakallah fi. Yes, sir.
How about making saying Ameen on the Friday khutbah, saying Ameen when the dua is being made? Is that what is
During the khutbah?
meaning? At the end of the khutbah there is a dua.
Yes.
During the khutbah,
Yeah.
can you say Ameen?
Yeah,
or
but
is there a
encouraged to
difference
do
in
it
the school
softly.
of thought?
Encourage to do it to yourself and softly. Because of the hadith about speaking during the khutbah.
Right.
So the scholars generally say just if you can say Ameen, but do it softly and to yourself, rather than out loud, because not to violate the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ where he asked us not to speak, or told us basically not to speak or talk during the khutbah. So out of the adab of the dua, we can say Ameen, but like just softly to ourselves. Sure. جزاكم الله خير سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك